Motivation Monday. Hi, welcome to the Froggy Five. I'm your host, Jim Freilich, founder and managing partner of Froggy Companies, where when it comes to real estate, you can't stop the hop. Great. So I'm going to start in the beginning because they say it's a very good place to start and ask you how you came to be.
Oh, man. How long do you have? No, I'll keep it really quick and simple.
Short version.
Short version. Graduated college, had no clue what I wanted to do with my life, fell into a job working for a hard money lender. And this was back in the early to mid aughts. Everybody's making money in real estate. So I'm working with real estate investor clients all day, right, as borrowers for hard money loans. So I plow a whole bunch of money into rental properties myself. I'm doing BRRRR deals and flips, and I think that I'm just like crushing it, right? And then 2008 comes along and just slaps me right upside the head. Worst, I got hit from both sides because not only did my investments do horribly from that point forward for a while, but I also lost my day job income, right? Because no one was borrowing hard money loans anymore, and I was working commission only as a loan officer, basically for a hard money lender. So I had to totally re-envision what came next. So I worked for an e-commerce company for a long time that serviced landlords and real estate investors. Got to learn that side of the industry, what digital marketing is all about, and online business. And in 2016, I founded or co-founded Spark Rental with my partner Denny Sipley, and that too has been quite a roller coaster of a journey. Like you said, we offer tools for active investors. When we first launched Spark Rental, we thought our main business was going to be landlord software, property management software for mom and pop landlords. Excuse me. And then, a web developer ran off with half of our seed capital. So, it's just, and we did eventually launch that software, but it forced us to reimagine exactly what we wanted to do as a business. We wanted to be. So, we got into education and we started offering online courses, free courses, paid courses. We started creating tools for active real estate investors. And then at a certain point, so I've been overseas for 9 years now. At a certain point, I decided I didn't want to be a landlord anymore. So I got rid of all my rental properties, but that left me in an awkward position where I own a business that serves landlords and real estate investors, but I didn't actually own any real estate anymore. So, I started experimenting with passive real estate investments. Started with some crowdfunding investments, got into private equity and syndications. And it was around this time that my partner and I had started offering as an educational service for our course students, letting them go in on some deals with us, some real estate deals with us. And it was way too much work, actively buying properties, with our students as sort of a learning exercise. But we realized that passive real estate syndications, we could potentially do that. And that wouldn't necessarily be too much work to do. So we did a pilot deal, went well. And then we decided, well, let's open it up to the general public as an investment club where we get together once a month, we vet deals, we go into them together. Each of us can invest relatively small amounts. So it's kind of like an old school stock investment club where everyone gets together and puffs on cigars or whatever and sips brandy in like a wood paneled room or something. And but instead of stocks and instead of the wood paneled room and the brandy and all that stuff, it's passive real estate investments. And our club is all online.
I'm in just for the brandy.
I know, man. Right? Me too. Wish we could actually do that.
Have a webinar. We'll just bring it. We'll be like Don Draper and the guys that.
Exactly. How much fun would that be, right?
So yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that journey. Because it's already got some perseverance laid in. Love the part about the web developer taking off with half your seed capital. That's a good one.
Not fun.
And it reveals some of your motivation as well, because I see you like to live life. Well, you're living life overseas, abroad most of the time. But I could just tell from reading some of the stuff you've written, the independence part of it is something that must motivate you a lot. Right?
It is. So yeah, I'm really big on independence in every form. When right after we moved abroad, so I had that job with that e-commerce company for 8+ years. Was their vice president, and ended up losing that job right after moving across the world to Abu Dhabi The owner and I, we'd always kind of butted heads a little bit, but he really didn't like the fact that I had moved outside of the country. And so he let me go. But meanwhile, I'm living halfway across the world and had no network or contacts over there, right? Had no way of earning money. So that was a terrible feeling, that feeling. And, we've all been there, right? Everybody's lost a job. Everyone's had that feeling of, helplessness that comes with that, right? And I decided I did not want that feeling of helplessness ever again. I did not want to be dependent on someone else to pay my bills or earn a living ever again. So that's part of what motivated me to start an online business. But along the way, it's really hard to start a business. As you know, it's hard to get a business off the ground. It's way harder than the average person thinks. And what we ended up having to do to extend the runway, especially after that web developer ran off without our seed capital. So my partner and I each had to go out and add extra income streams on the side to extend that runway, right? Because we didn't want to go out and get venture capital or take out heavy debts or loans to grow the business. So instead, we bootstrapped it by each of us setting up like side hustles basically to help make ends meet, while we're trying to get Spark Rental off the ground. So for my partner, she's a realtor. So she just picked up her real estate business to help make ends meet. For me, I started freelance writing, and that was fortuitous in several ways. I mean, one, obviously the money helped, right? We were able to extend the runway to get Spark Rental profitable. But beyond the money, writing, I'm every week and really every day, I was there writing about real estate, about the market, about stocks and investing and, innovations, like crowdfunding platforms as they came online. And I'm writing reviews of some of these platforms. So, and then I end up putting some of my own money in experimentally. And it just made me a much better investor and a more informed investor. And it made my writing a lot better. When you're writing 10,000 words a week, you just become a better writer, right? I mean, you can't help it. So, all of these things have helped both my personal finances and my business immeasurably over the years.
That's great. It was your full circle Hemingway moment. You're overseas, like a movable feast. You're suddenly broke. You start pouring your heart into writing and coming up with side hustles, and being in that crucible took you to where you are today.
That's really part of being in business, is being open to those pivots, because you constantly have to change and adapt when you're in business. And often the business that you think you're in, or the business you think you should be in, are often not the business that the market wants or needs you to be in, right? So, and that's a lesson that we kind of had to learn. I don't know, I wouldn't say the hard way, but we had to learn on the fly, that I can't tell you the number of our students that asked us, hey, can we just invest with you guys? We're not ready to buy our own property yet, but we want to invest. I must have had 50 people ask me that question before I actually had the light bulb go off. Oh, maybe instead of just saying no without thinking about it, maybe we should actually consider this, right? Like, and that is part of being in business, is just being nimble, being agile, being willing to try new things and experiment, and being open to the idea that maybe your business is not or shouldn't be what you think it is.
I'm thinking about it right now. Like we talked a little bit before we started here about my new $18 million fund of funds. And we have, alongside that, our consulting business. And that is, when you have a lot of experience you can use in the consulting way, as opposed to creating this great system and then getting subscribers, you tend to want to just be hired as a consultant first. So you're still making sure you're paying your bills while you're waiting for the other thing to come up. So, hey, thanks for having me on. If anybody else wants to find out more about what we're doing, please come to froggycompanies.com. Check out our 3 different business areas. We also have the Froggy Fund 1 that's now open for up to $18 million. We're going to be investing that $18 million across a diverse number of assets, cash flowing and ground up. And I'm really excited about this fund, and really confident that we can outperform most of the other people out there in terms of what we invest in and how we do our due diligence and the type of partners we put together. So it's great talking to you, and see you next time.